From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Liberal leader Mark Carney is hitting the ground running with a landslide mandate to lead the government response to U.S. tariffs and a likely election. The Prime Minister-designate is expected to attend and perhaps even lead this afternoon's Liberal caucus meeting.
The next Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney.
Carney won the Liberal leadership with 86% of the vote on the very first ballot. Now, he's on deck to lead Canada's response to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff threats and the Liberals in the next election.
So Donald Trump thinks he can weaken us with his plan to divide and conquer. Pierre Poilievre's plan will leave us divided and ready to be conquered.
Carney has not ruled out calling a snap election himself, but first he'll have to visit Rideau Hall to be officially sworn in as Prime Minister. That is expected to happen soon. David Baxter, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Former Prime Minister Jean Chretien also took the stage at the Liberal leadership election to reprimand U.S. President Donald Trump over tariffs and threats to Canada's sovereignty. Chretien warned the Liberal crowd that Canada's long and fruitful relationship with Americans was falling apart with the continued hostility from the Trump administration. He also addressed Trump directly, saying, "From one guy to another old guy, stop this nonsense."
But my mother taught us good manners. She would have been ashamed of me if I had treated anyone the way that the president treated my prime minister and the president in Ukraine in the last few weeks.
Toronto police say a seventh person was injured by gunfire in Friday night's mass shooting at a pub near Scarborough Town Centre. In an update posted on X yesterday, police said the total number of injured people remains at 12, but a seventh was grazed by a bullet and not by flying glass. 3 suspects remain at large after they entered Piper Arms and indiscriminately opened fire as diners were celebrating the pub's opening night. All 3 shooters fled in a silver car. Canadian companies and their employees continue to wrestle over the balance of office and work from home requirements 5 years after the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. A report by the C.D. Howe Institute says just over a quarter of Canadian employees spent at least part of their week working from home by the end of 2023. University of Toronto professor John Trugakos says the majority of office jobs can now incorporate technologies that allow employees to work from home.
The pandemic has fundamentally shifted the way we work, and as one of the silver linings of a very terrible time is this advancement of remote and hybrid work and different ways of working.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, at the Canadian Men's Curling Championship, Alberta's Brad Jacobs beat Manitoba's Matt Dunstone 5-3 to win the Montana's Brier. Jacobs says his team showed its mettle by winning 4 straight elimination games.
That was a tough grind, so I'm just so proud of the guys for playing the way that they did, hanging in there and grinding all week.
Jacobs will represent Canada at the World Championship later this month in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. NHL action, Mikael Granlund scored the winner late in the second period as the visiting Dallas Stars beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-1. The Carolina Hurricanes knocking off the visiting Winnipeg Jets 4-2. And in NFL news, MVP quarterback Josh Allen has been rewarded with a contract extension that is reportedly worth $330 million, which would make him among the NFL's highest paid players. The Buffalo Bills announced the agreement, which adds 2 years to Allen's contract and locks the 28-year-old in through the 2030 season. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.